Everyone can rise above their circumstances and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do. Hello there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. It's Tuesday, the 27th day of August. Let's hope that you're preparing your children for the upcoming school year. Coming up in today's show, procedures involved in enrolling students at the Jamaica Association for the Deaf School. We have that and more, but first, let's take our daily news. We'll be right back after the break.
Hi everyone, here are 5 benefits of being a beneficiary of the Students' Loan Bureau. 1. Benefit from our 99% approval rate. 2. Benefit from our low interest rate, so less burden when you need to repay. 3. Benefit from the fact that we require no collateral when applying. 4. We're giving you more time to focus on your studies while we focus on the financing. No need to worry about repaying while in school. Number 5. Receive a 14 months grace period after your graduation date before you enter repayment. Don't forget to follow us on all SLB platforms for more SLB info.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan, and this is your JS News for Tuesday, August 27, 2024. The Ministry of Education and Youth is reporting that students across Jamaica maintained a high level of performance in the May-June 2024 sitting of the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says 95% of the 43,661 subject entries achieved an average pass rate of 90%. Of those who sat Unit 1, there was a 90% pass rate, while Unit 2 students recorded a 91% pass rate.
The CAPE Unit 1 and 2 results for 2024 did not show significant percentage variations from those of 2023. Only a difference of about 0.1% in 2024 when compared to the results in 2023 for Unit 1. And for Unit 2, a difference of 0.8% when compared to the results of 2023. However, we did see improvements in 13 subject areas in Unit 1 and 16 subject areas in Unit 2.
Minister Williams was addressing Monday's press conference to provide a report on the country's performance in both the May-June 2024 CAPE and CSEC examinations. CAPE Unit 1 recorded pass rates of 90% and above in 17 subject areas. Performing arts, geography, green engineering, physics and physical education and sport topped the list. Meanwhile, 13 subject areas had pass rates of 90% and above in Unit 2. Again, the performing arts came out on top, as well as physical education and sport, Spanish, French, and geography.
I want to say congratulations to all our students that sat their CAPE subjects, and we wish you all the best as you transition to the next stage of your life.
As emergency repairs continue on schools that were damaged by Hurricane Beryl, the Education Ministry says 902 institutions will be ready for the September 2 start date for the 2024-25 academic year. This figure is from a total of 1,009 schools. The details were disclosed by Portfolio Minister Favour Williams during a press briefing at her office yesterday. Minister Williams highlighted that most of the damage was to the roofs, and efforts have been focused on resheeting roofs and installing new windows to ensure the buildings are ready for the students.
For the ones that are in Priority 1 that would have gotten their roofs damaged, that's 107, and we have been monitoring the progress there. As of Friday, I think we're confident on about, I would say, 90 of those, given where the work is. And for those for which we are seeing there might be delay, we're asking our principals to help us with a contingency plan.
Contingency plans could include the use of temporary tents or church halls for schools that will not be ready for September 2. given the level of damage to 139 schools that are on the Priority 2 list. The Education Minister says it has been determined that those schools can operate while repair work is going on.
Obviously, will everything be picture perfect on September 2? That's not what we're saying. We will have to communicate on a school-by-school basis to our parents directly so that they know exactly what to expect come September 2nd.
Phase 1 of the Mason Hall Water Distribution Storage and Lift project is expected to distribute a steady supply of water to residents of the St. Mary community by the end of the year. This phase is being done at a cost of $175 million by the National Water Commission (NWC) in partnership with Rural Water Supply Limited. Minister with responsibility for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the overall project cost of approximately $1 billion is part of the Caribbean Development Bank CDF-funded initiative that aids rural communities.
We have started the process of rolling out the works to ensure that Mason Hall gets water they deserve, and water that has been committed to them by their government on multiple occasions.
Member of Parliament for the area, Robert Montague, communicated the feelings of the residents.
The community of Mason Hall is grateful, is thankful, is happy, and they will be happier just before Christmas when Minister Samuda has committed to return to Mason Hall to turn on the water system. The
Ministry of Local Government will be allocating over $120 million for councillors to provide back-to-school assistance for students in their divisions. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie made the announcement at the handing-over ceremony of 3 indigent houses to recipients in North Central Clarendon last Tuesday. He says after the back-to-school support is completed, the ministry will be spending another $117 million to provide care packages for persons who are in dire need.
The government of Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been responding in a positive way to the various concerns of Jamaicans who are not in a position to help themselves in the way that they want.
And finally, fisherfolk in Clarendon have received supplies and financial assistance from the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining and the Sandals Foundation to help their recovery from Hurricane Beryl. Last Thursday, the foundation distributed rolls of fish pot mesh during a handing over ceremony at the Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation's field station in Clarendon. At the same time, the ministry provided vouchers valued at $25,000 each for those who do net fishing. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green again affirmed his ministry's plan to intervene at all the fishing beaches that were impacted by the hurricane.
We're not just building back the gear sheds as they were. We want to do them in a more sustainable way so that when another storm comes, they can withstand that storm.
Fishers in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland also benefited from the partnership between the ministry and the Sandals Foundation. And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica is on the move with smarter and cleaner transportation. The government is enhancing the JUTC fleet with 100 new CNG buses with 10 specially outfitted for the disabled. Running on compressed natural gas, these buses reduce emissions while offering advanced safety features and Wi-Fi. Jamaica is driving in comfort towards a sustainable future.
We know there's not much time left, but as you look into schooling for your children this year, consider their needs and whether somewhere like the Jamaica Association School for the Deaf might be a good fit.
At the Jamaica Association for the Deaf, one of the things that's very critical to us is education our children. We are an 80-year-old organization now, and we manage 7 schools and units across 4 parishes. So we have the Lister Margilby High School for the Deaf in Papine and the Danny Williams Primary School for the Deaf in Papine. We also have the JD Preschool, which is where our little ones, we would love for them to start. That's where the language acquisition can be very strong because it is preschool and the child is like a sponge. Attached to our Danny Williams Primary School is a unit at the Excelsior Primary School, which is our ExCed unit. Attached to the Lister Gilby High School is a unit in Port Antonio, or Port Antonio unit, and a unit in Maypen in Woodside. And then we have St. Christopher's School for the Deaf, or boarding facility at a primary level. As JAD schools, we have been running a project with the support of the USAID, and we've acknowledged that across the system, we currently have approximately 400 students in school. So we're looking at 400 students currently in school, but some estimates have now given reason to believe that we should have at least 1,000 students across the island with hearing loss, significant enough for them to need either special education placement in a school for the deaf or special education placement in a mainstream school with special accommodations. Now, those special accommodations can be a hearing aid, and under our business division, we do have a hearing assessment center, which is how we find the children to place in school. We acknowledge that there are some kids who will not need deaf education placement, but they may need to be in a smaller classroom size. And the way our education system is structured, you on average have a classroom size at the primary level with 44 students. Now, if you're a student who has hearing loss and uses a hearing aid, and you're in a classroom where there are 44 students, one teacher, and a blackboard dividing the room, 9 out of 10 you're not catching much in the classroom. And so the impact that has on the students is that it means that for a number of years, they are performing either at bare minimum or below bare minimum. And unfortunately, they may be just passed through the system. Schools may express to the parents, I'm sorry, we can't keep the child any longer because we recognize that there's a challenge and we recommend you do assessment. If the parent is afraid to do the assessment, they remove the child, move them to another school, and for the sake of ensuring that the schools have their numbers, the school may accept the student without even really questioning what happened at the previous school, why were you moving. So we, knowing that our school population is low, we're working to get more persons to be more aware of the fact that we do have schools for the deaf, that we do appreciate that maybe the student just needs a hearing aid, just needs preferential treatment in the classroom with a preferred seat, with more one-on-one attention, with a smaller classroom size. But our goal is ensuring that whatever the hearing loss, the child can be supported. The child can be given the education that they deserve, because we are firm believers that every child can learn and every child must learn. We are grant aided by the Ministry of Education to manage our schools, which means that our school fees and the costs aligned to sending a child to a school for the deaf is not significantly exorbitant. Most people, when they think of special education placement, they think of a private institution, and so the assumption is that it's going to be extremely expensive. For us, because we're granted by the Ministry of Education, we do teach the national standard curriculum. Our students throughout the education system, they do the same assessments that mainstream students do, and they are supported with teachers who have signing skill, as well as what we call deaf culture facilitators, who are teachers' aides, deaf adults who have strong signing capacity and are able to kind of help. So in the space where our concept is unclear, it's a tag team of teacher and DCF that help to support the student to ensure that they learn. And it's bilingual. So we're teaching English as a written language and sign language as an expressive and conversational language. We are also running a Jamaican Sign Language grammar curriculum. In the same way that as hearing persons, we learn English, because it's not assumed that you have a strong foundation in English. We are also teaching our students sign language to ensure that there is a continuance of the standardization of the language, and to also ensure that they have a strong foundation language to run on. Majority of our students are coming from hearing families, and so it's impractical to assume that a student coming into our school is going to have sign language already, which is why early identification and early intervention is important, because it means that a child coming into preschool is going to be learning sign language and English at the same pace that a student in a mainstream school is increasing their language capacity in English. Because education is our core focus, one of the things that's very critical for us is ensuring that we not only have children in school, but that we're adequately supporting them once we get them into school.
Hi everyone, let's talk granting aid. Eligible eligible targeted loan applicants may receive a non-repayable granting aid of $60,000. These funds can be used for school-related expenses such as traveling, buying food, housing, or purchasing a laptop, for example. Eligibility is determined by the financial circumstances of applicants and the availability of grants. Apply early at slbja.com and be one of 4,200 beneficiaries of our granting aid.
Hey there! So I recently came across a post from the World Health Organization, and I'm just here assuming that, like me, you're also looking for ways to take care of yourself, right? Well, let's hope so. The post read, 1 in 2 young people is at risk of hearing loss. So here goes. This is what I learned about safe listening habits. How do you even know when noise is damaging your hearing? There are easy tells, and most likely you've experienced one, if not all. You have to raise your voice to talk to other people. You cannot hear what people nearby are saying. It hurts your ears. You have ringing. Did you hear that? Okay, back to what I was saying. If you have ringing in your ears or muffled hearing afterwards, the noise is quite possibly loud enough to damage your hearing. So, what can you do? Keep the volume down. Do not listen to music at more than 60% of the maximum volume. Do not use earphones or headphones for more than an hour at a time. Take a break for at least 5 minutes every hour. Use earplugs in noisy places. Also, if you're in a noisy environment, try to take a break every 15 minutes. Give your hearing about 18 hours to recover after exposure to lots of loud noise. Limit time spent on loud activities. Monitor sound levels using mobile apps. And finally, check your hearing regularly. We oftentimes drown our listening habits in the noise and the vibe, but as you just learned, it takes very little to take care of our hearing health. And that's it. Easy, simple, and done. Happy hearing.
It's not easy to sustain agricultural crops without proper irrigation, especially during a dry season. It is that knowledge that has prompted students from the Calva Agricultural School to create their very own model project that looks at how farmers can recycle water to irrigate crops.
I'm studying general agriculture. I want to be a veterinarian.
Bioengineer.
I want to manage my own agricultural business.
They are the future of the agriculture sector and are working towards making a significant impact.
You have certain crops in Jamaica that are being depleted. I would like to re-engineer those crops and bring them back into the world.
I'm planning to do something similar to this, or if I can fine-tune the same thing and rename it into a brand that I can offer to the economy, I want to do this.
This is the KISA model, a project that highlights an approach that can be taken by farmers to treat recycled water on their farms to irrigate field crops.
The main purpose of this layout right here is to have an environment where we try to have less economic problems, try to build up a system that is economically and environmentally friendly.
The idea and design came out of a need to implement such a system on the grounds of their Hanover-based agricultural school. The NACALVA students also believe that the KISA model will be able to sustain farmers through periods of low rainfall and drought. Here is how it will work. Say you are a pig farmer. Each time you wash the pig pen, that water can be channeled to various treatment points. The water, along with the waste substance, would then pass through a biodigester, allowing you to produce your own energy for your farm as well as manure.
In the biogas digester, anaerobic bacteria breaks down or digests the material and releases a gas known as methane gas. This methane gas is then sent to the control station where our generator converts this gas into energy and is used up on the farm on a day-to-day basis. So after the biogas digester, the solid part of the material is sent to the drying bed. In the drying bed, it is left open where it can be dried completely. After it is dried, the material is then used back in our outfield and our greenhouse as organic material or manure.
Following that is the water treatment process. The liquid from the drying pond is sent to the anaerobic pond, which is the first stage of treatment.
In this pond, there's a substance known as BOD. BOD is biological chemical oxygen demand. This is the amount of oxygen that bacteria requires to break down organic matter. It is reduced by 85% in the anaerobic pond, and in the second pond, which is the facultative pond, it is reduced by 95%. In the facultative pond, algae is present to add additional oxygen to the water by photosynthesis. And doing this, the algae also removes nitrates and phosphate, therefore purifying the water a little further.
From here, water moves to maturation ponds 1 and 2. This process is to move coliform bacteria.
Anaerobic respiration occurs at the bottom of the pond. The main purpose is to reduce pathogens like bacteria, viruses, E. coli, and no chlorine. Then it will travel in a channel to storage pond, where the water stays there.
This storage pond will also facilitate rainwater harvesting.
This harvested water is used to lower the pH of the water stored in the storage pond, and it is also used to spread out the level of pathogen in the water. This is done because there is a recommended level of pathogen per liter in the water, and doing this will reduce the amount of concentration of pathogen in that specific liter. After the treatment of the water, it is then sent to the control station where the generator and pump is activated, and it is dispersed into our outfields and in our greenhouse irrigation system.
So I believe that this is one of the best ideas that all Jamaican farmers should partake in. Not only that it is very beneficial to our economy, it is also beneficial to your pockets. To get this started, it is not really an easy process, but over a period of time you'll realize that because you are creating your own energy, you don't have to go ahead and buy water, because you're the one reusing, recycling your water, you're the one harvesting your water, you're the one treating it, so you don't have to pay to do all of those processes.
If you are a landowner who does not have a registered title, you can apply for one now. A registered title is a document that indicates you own the land, and if you don't have one, another person can lay claim to your land. The process of registering for land titles begins here. Here are the initial steps you need to take. Step 1. Obtain and sign an application form as stipulated by the Registration of Titles Act. Step 2 is to obtain a statutory declaration, which is merely a letter from a local resident attesting to the applicant's ownership of the land. Step 3 is similar to Step 2 in that you must obtain a supporting statutory statement from 2 people who have known the property for at least 30 years in order to demonstrate ownership rights through possession. This is necessary if the petitioner lacks 40 years' worth of documentary evidence of ownership. The 4th step requires you to obtain a current certificate of payment for property taxes. You will also need a survey-checked diagram if the land is being registered by plan. After that, present any other document you may have proving ownership, such as a receipt, transfer, or probate form. Finally, you must pay an entry fee, which is equal to 1% of the property's value. You must pay this cost when you provide your paperwork to the assessor at the title office. You will receive an official receipt with the name of the applicant, the document number, and the receipt number printed on it. Your application number is printed on the receipt and must be used when you are contacted about the application. Once your application has been submitted successfully, you must save your receipt. Processing takes anywhere from 6 months to a year. If a rejection notification is sent out during that time, the processing period will restart if you want to reapply. Pay your property taxes, have your land surveyed, and remember, land titles can be used as a resource to safeguard your future and the future of your children. To learn more about how to obtain a land title today, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm.
Hurricane straps help keep your roof secure during heavy winds. Strappy's advice: make sure your home is secure. Strap down your roofs to withstand the wailing winds of hurricanes and other major storms. Don't wait until it's too late.
It's a very simple thing. It is inexpensive and it doesn't require much technical know-how to do it.
Strap down your roof now. Save yourself a world of hurt later.
And that's it for today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Remember, if you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. Do join us again tomorrow for another informative show. Be sure to also visit our website, gis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.